When people start talking like that, you stop it.
Open racism in a Missouri town.
He was hurt, really confused.
How residents are reacting and how the mayor is stepping in before it's too late.
Then you end up with violence and issues that are a little bit harder for our town to tackle.
KOMU 8 News at 10 starts now.
Racism hit too close to home for some Missouri families. Good evening, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. KOMU 8's Allison Ross is here in the studio with a special report, the rise of open racism, how one case created a much larger problem.
Sedalia mother Krista Paget took to Facebook after her 14-year-old son came home saying he was threatened and harassed in Lebanon after a basketball game. At first, parents thought it was Lebanon high school students that were doing the harassing, but after an investigation from Lebanon police, they discovered that the teens did not live in Lebanon. But this one post got 605 likes, 591 shares, and 339 comments. A lot of comments hinting that there may still be an issue in Lebanon. Krista Paget said she was, quote, mad, hurt, and plain disgusted after she says people yelled racial slurs at her son after his basketball game.
Well, I was concerned for his safety and well-being and how it was, affecting him and how it was going to affect him in the future.
One Lebanon resident took to Facebook after the incident happened, saying, quote, this is a joke. Sounds made up if you ask me. I'm sure something may have happened, but I doubt to the extent this woman is saying. And to be honest, y'all are making yourselves look ridiculous and pathetic. It's crazy how us white didn't act a fool when Obama got elected, but now Trump gets elected, colored people start pulling out the racist card. One longtime resident says attitudes like that aren't new.
My husband, one time a few blocks from our home, was called a derogatory name. He is an African immigrant, and so the N-word has come out probably more than once, but once that we know of.
To the extent that I think it exists everywhere, I think that racism exists here.
Abdullahi says this is because of the city's demographics. The current U.S. Census says Lebanon's population is 94% white, 1.3% black, 0.7% Asian, 2.4% two or more races, and 2.6% Hispanic or Latino. And it's not just racism. Abdullahi says she is not accepted for being a Muslim.
I have been told to go back where I came from,
even though she's from the town. Abdullahi's example isn't the only one of religious hate. A teacher from Lebanon High School shared this article to her Facebook, titled Burned Alive While Unarmed, Christians, with the caption, quote, for all you Christian haters, this is what Muslims with guns did to unarmed Christians. They used gasoline and just burned them alive, merciless. That sparked some complaints, but Lebanon Public Schools says it cannot comment on the specific issue. But J.C. Overstreet, Director of Communications, says, quote, Lebanon R3 school board policies do not condone discriminatory behavior by staff or students. And the district takes appropriate action with staff or students if these policies are violated in connection to school activities or job responsibilities. Ray says articles like this are reinforcing hate.
Hate's hate. And if you're sharing things on social media or even in day-to-day conversation that you don't know are true, you're just, acting as a sound box for somebody else, that's not okay.
Abdullahi says the recent national election has made things worse in Lebanon.
They will drive around with Confederate flags and Trump flags. And, for example, we had a rally at the city council the other day regarding a racist incident that happened in town. And they will drive by in their big trucks and blow black smoke on us.
But she still has hope for Lebanon.
I think Lebanon is a great city. I think it's got a lot of potential. I just hope that in the future it can continue to move forward.
I feel like change is very possible, but again, education, it starts at home, and education is the key.
As for the situation with the Sedalia basketball team that sparked so much online outrage and brought me to Lebanon, the Lebanon basketball team did apologize. The Sedalia Smith Cotton basketball team posted this on their Facebook page, saying, quote, "The Lebanon boys basketball team and coaches wish the Tigers good luck and apologize on behalf of the community for the incident that happened last week after their game."
Well, weather-wise, this week has seen it all. Chilly temperatures, pretty cold, not too bad Valentine's Day, but things are about to heat up. Let's send it over to Kenton to see what we're looking at.
All right, Brittany, thank you very much. Yeah, Valentine's Day, very comfortable here in mid-Missouri. Today was as well. Today was actually the most seasonal we're going to be for possibly the rest of this month. Look at these average temperatures for this time of the year. 44 for the high, middle 20s for the low. High temperatures today were in the 40s and 20s. So, again, seasonal, but we're not going to see that here in the next couple of days or really the next possibly couple weeks. Temperatures right now, by the way, in the 30s, 37 in Columbia, 36 in Moberly, and Paris is at 35, 37 in Boonville. Winds very light, less than 5 miles an hour for most of us in mid-Missouri, and we're going to continue with calm temperatures at least for the next few hours, but tomorrow that's not the case. Winds are going to be gusting up to 35 miles an hour. Temperatures 20 degrees warmer than they were today, also over 20 degrees above average for this time of year, and we're not stopping there. We're warming up through the weekend, even next week as well, possibly breaking records. I'm tracking that heat wave, plus a look at some possible fire danger for tomorrow. It's all coming up later in the show.
As President Trump defends former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, Democrats are calling for an investigation. Flynn resigned yesterday after it went public that he misled government officials about discussing sanctions with Russia's ambassador. Top Democrats want answers, but worry the Republican-led committees won't dig deep enough. One lawmaker has demanded the administration preserve documents for investigation. About 24 people gathered in Columbia today for a peaceful protest aimed at Republican Senator Roy Blunt, asking for his effort to impeach President Donald Trump. This after word of the Trump administration's connections with Russia. One counter-protester voiced his opinion, saying Donald Trump will make America America again. A seasoned protester from Columbia said this was one of the more successful anti-Trump protests he's been to.
I've been in protests earlier when it wasn't this issue. The honks are much more frequent, and I find that very encouraging. There's a lot of people that are concerned.
Protesters worry Blunt's plans for an investigation won't be thorough enough. This evening, Senator Blunt spoke to CNN and explained how he says the Senate Intelligence Committee plans to investigate.
I think the best way we can do that is to look at everything that a reasonable person would think you would want to look at, talk to everybody that a reasonable person would think you'd want to talk to, and come to conclusions that both Democrats and Republicans can't argue with because of the facts.
Blunt says the committee has relationships with agencies like the FBI that can help them accomplish this.
Andrew Puzder withdrew his nomination for Labor Secretary today. This comes after criticism from senators over his business record and allegations of domestic abuse. He's the CEO of CKE Restaurants, which owns Hardee's and Carl's Jr. He is the first cabinet selection that has decided to drop out of the running.
Here's what's happening right now. A second woman has been arrested in connection to the death of Kim Jong-un's half-brother Kim Jong-nam. Kim Jong-nam died Monday after falling ill at an airport. One woman was arrested yesterday. Malaysian police officials say they will issue a statement with more details soon.
The family of a boy who committed suicide due to bullying has released a statement. Mike and Angela Suttner said in part, quote, "It is important to us that we express that we love this community and would not want any negative backlash because of information that has been brought to light. There are so many good people in this community and school, which is why we will stay in the community. However, it is long overdue that the issue of bullying be brought to light so that we can all work together to make change." The former Dairy Queen manager where Kenny Suttner worked, Harley Branham, has been charged with involuntary manslaughter. Columbia Water and Light is looking into a possible 16 million gallon per day expansion. However, the public isn't fully behind the effort. KOMU 8's Ben Burke is here in the studio with more on the battle between expansion and conservation.
Columbia Water and Light's Integrated Water Resource Plan features an expansion on the treatment plant from 32 million to 48 million gallons per day. The plan also recommends an increased effort in promoting water conservation, which could bring down the amount of water needed per day under the amount the expansion plans for. One resident told me that having both an expansion in the water plant and an increase in conservation is counterproductive to saving water.
But if you go ahead and build a huge all-you-can-eat buffet and then encourage, eating in moderation, it doesn't quite work. It's like trying to have an AA meeting with an open bar.
The city told me this plan will address increases in demand for water that is projected to outweigh the supply by 2023. To check out the entire plan, visit our website, KOMU.com. Reporting in the studio, Ben Burke, KOMU 8 News.
A shocking rise in the number of Boone County flu cases. That's coming up.
And how MU's trying to combat the mumps outbreak as it continues to spread on campus.